Conjugate Nation, Chapter 3. We're here nice and early Sunday morning. My boy Duke is trying to choose my shoes. But opened up a max effort Monday morning on the bench. My elbow had a ton of tendonitis issues with it. I think I've been using straight bars and the squat a bit too much. So I ended up hitting 285 close grip incline with the shoulder saver. I was pretty fired up afterwards because I ended up missing 305. But yeah, when I use a straight bar and the bow bar too much, my left elbow tends to flare up a little bit. So as you'll see in a little bit, I ended up using hey, there's Stanley. Hey, Stan. That's my brother's son. Here's Kyle with a little GPP. We live and die on GPP. It's where we get our conditioning work in, and it's where we bring up our weaknesses. Kyle's doing a little keg loading here. I believe the kegs are like 120, 160, and then 200-pound kegs. So he's getting some work in on an off day just to get the blood moving around, making sure that we can recover properly and move on to our next workout. Kyle has a strongman history in his training, so he's fairly familiar on how to do that properly. Here's on my dynamic effort day. This was my last week of bands and chains on the straight bar, but like I said, my elbow was lit up, so I ended up going with the safety squat bar. I think it was a good choice because my elbow felt better later in the week. Here is a tremendous glute exercise that I've been using, and I'm hoping that it pays off. It's just a straight leg kettlebell swing, and I'm really focusing on contracting the glutes at the top. And who is that at Mark Bell's gym in Sacramento? That is 908 Barbell's own Stephen Liftsmore. Went on a vacation with his lovely girlfriend over to California, and they went up and down the coast. They were in Lake Tahoe. They stopped in Sacramento. They saw a Giants game. They saw a Golden State game. So he was on a big-time vacation, but he found time to train and had an opportunity to train at Super Training. Here he is banging out 415 for a set of 5. He stayed true to his 531 workout, and pretty awesome to be able to get over there and lift in a gym like that. Mark Bell's done a lot for the sport, and he continues to be a good sponsor, good, just focal point of what the sport should turn into. Here's my GPP day lower. I ended up doing a 20-calorie row. Supersetted it with glute ham raises for sets of 8. I did pull downs and ab wheel. So I just do circuit training on my off days. Usually it revolves around some type of rowing to get my conditioning going. I absolutely love the rower. Like I said, I think the prowler is the first conditioning tool if you're really trying to get in shape, but the second one's got to be the rower. Here's Kyle. Ended up maxing out this week in the main movements. He had here's 575. It's a bit of a grinder, but he locked it out. This is 25 pounds heavier than his last mock meet in his house. When he went to the meet, he ended up pulling 605. So hopefully that transfers over. Here's my dynamic effort day. Like I said, my elbow was a little flared up. It didn't hurt today, but I ended up using the football bar just to keep tension off of it. And it felt good. I did 10 sets of 5 with about 115 pounds in double minis. And then I'm really focusing on the triceps here, trying to build up my the back of my arms, the front of my arms, because if you want a big bench, you got to have some big arms. So I'm going for it. I will be maxing within the next 2 weeks raw. I plan on getting into single ply gear, maybe hitting a meet in the middle of July, towards the end of July, so we'll see. Here's my max effort squat day. I wanted to work with front squats today, so you have 285 with 80-pound chain. Felt pretty decent. Then I worked to 295 or 305 and then 325. These all felt good. This is the rep that I started to think to myself, got to keep my back up because I round a little bit and I fight through. The last time I rounded like that, I ended up hurting my back. So not only was it feel good to do this 315 after I felt a little hesitant in my head, but I grinded it out through and I was pretty excited because I didn't back down from the weight. It was more of a deadlift focused day yesterday morning, so here is 405 plus 80-pound of chain for 3. Once again, I'm using my over-underhand. I haven't done that in a while, but it felt great last week. with a little bit of rep work, so I figured I might as well push it here. I did that for 3, and then I ended up hitting 405 for 6, and I worked back down. I did 315 for 8, 225 for 10. I'm going to keep working the volume. I'm going to try to stay away from heavy singles in the deadlift, just because I know my history, and I know that sometimes it puts me back more than it helps me. We'll see. We'll see where it takes me in the next couple weeks. Here's Kyle's max effort day or squat day on Saturday. This is 405. He smokes it. He ended up working up to 450, so I know he's pretty happy about that. And then we finished it up here with his bench. It's 340 for 1. He was a little disappointed, but we'll move on from it. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you next week.